What's up, guys? Here, unfortunately, um, doing a quick live weather update before again there out more stuff and sorting out when to leave and everything. But we will be heading down to Florida for this next tropical um, system, which will likely become a hurricane sometime in the next 24 to 36 hours. Expect a hurricane to form in the southwest portions of the Gulf. They already have the hurricane track out. It's expected to already become a Category 2 hurricane at 7 a.m. on the 8th, and then reaching near portions of Florida on the 9th at 7 a.m. on Wednesday morning as a looks like a mid to high end Category 2 hurricane. Even some of the forecast models are saying right now, don't say that this is 100% going to happen, but some of the forecast models are anticipating a possible major hurricane impacting portions of the west coast of Florida that have already been very impactful by Hurricane Helene due to the storm surging 200 miles away from the coast. Now is the time to prepare. If you're on the west coast of Florida, do not wait to the last second. Everyone's going to be going in full panic mode based on already feet of sand already in Sarasota and already on the beaches and everything. When this storm surge comes in again, it's just going to put more and more and more on top of that's already happened by Helene. Now is the time to prepare. If you're on the west coast of Florida, this system's definitely be coming in very strong. There's still a chance that some of the forecast models have it going. That was a really bad line. Some of the forecast models even having it going at like this, which could impact north of Tampa. Some of the forecast models have it right here, which is why the NHC has it right there. So if I was you guys, either way, if you're like in this area right here on the coast, you need to prepare right now for the worst case scenario. When the system comes in, you're going to have big time storm surge on the south side of this system, which is going to impact Northport, Sarasota, portions of Fort Myers. All these areas to the south are going to get very impactful storm surge. Now is the time to prepare. It's not the time to wait. This system's going to be coming in pretty quick. It can even slow down before it reaches landfall, which would further intensify this system. A lot of the forecast models are already being very aggressive with this already. Even the GFS model, even the European model, everything's been uptrending since a couple days ago. I'm going to go ahead and break down some of these details right here for you guys. So here's the European model wave forecast height. This was 00Z from last night. Showing some decent waves there coming into portions. This is not the most updated updates every 12 hours or so, but it's showing anywhere 18 to 20 foot waves there going into the coast line on the west coast of Florida. With the storm surge and tide all combined together, you'd be looking at some significant storm surge. And this is just based on the Category 1, Category 2. If it's a Category 3 or 4, you're going to be talking 30 foot waves right around that system. Area system out here right now developing furthermore across the southwest portion of the Gulf. Right there you got some well-defined spin. Those are really nice echo tops and a couple of those high top thunderstorms spinning around that tropical depression now. Like I said, don't underestimate this system. It's been very consistent with its thunderstorms exploding since the last 36 hours across this area. Now is the time to prepare. This system's going to track east, and all of a sudden slant northeast, getting stronger, and then trying to make aim near Tampa or north of Tampa or south of Tampa. Don't pay too much attention to the NHC forecast. Anywhere south of that landfall is going to have all significant storm surge, likely greater than 3 feet. In some of these areas on the coastline, especially those outer islands, are going to get hit pretty hard by the storm surge when the system comes in. It's going to be pushing a lot of water again. Here is the latest NHC cone. They're already anticipating, like I said, a hurricane here going into portions of the west coast of Florida by Wednesday, but they're anticipating a mid to high end Category 2 so far. They put this out way in advance. A lot of the models are agreeing to that. The storm's only moving northeast at 3 miles an hour right now. The storm is rapidly, not intensifying yet, but it's been keeping its thunderstorms really well consistent throughout the night in the last 36 hours, which tells us that not a lot of dry air is impacting it. It's not really taking any beating from the shear. So it's over warm water still, and this system is going to take off. It's another impact the west coast of Florida. It's been pretty crazy lately. I'm going to show you a couple of the forecast models here, including the GFS. Like I said, don't panic, or I'm just showing you guys forecast models in the green. I'll go over all the forecast models here real quick. So here's the 06 GFS. This was 06 last night. Wanting it to come in around 11 a.m. It wants it to go north of Tampa, right? But the NAC forecast is to the south. Now, if it went north of Tampa, a stronger system's going to be tugged more to the northeast. Let's say if it goes north of Tampa, as a high-end Category 2, Category 3 hurricane, you'd be looking at some really strong winds here, anticipating all north of Tampa. But then you have the European model, which is slightly more to the south. Oops. Let's go ahead here. Here we are, European model. Sorry guys, internet connection issues. So the European model only goes out this far in the 06Z round, but it wants it to go a little bit further south, which would be agreeing with the NHC forecast at this point, right? Even then, look at the significant wave height here on the 06Z. You got some 20-foot plus waves there circling around the system, and it'll be probably starting to push in storm surges early as probably Tuesday on some of the high tides. On the east coast of Florida, even though you're not getting the full impact, you have easterly winds on the east side of Florida where you're going to have wave heights increasing in size till the system bypasses. So, meaning that if you're on the east coast of Florida and the system's coming in west to east, it's going to cross over, right? Till starting probably Tuesday all the way until Thursday, you're going to have significant wave heights and storm surge on the east coast of Florida, probably very impactful, just like how Ian did it. Ian crossed over and you still had significant storm surge as the storm approached, and then as the storm left, because it's circulating like this. It's pulling waves towards the east coast of Florida, easterly winds for like more consistent 48 hours plus. So the east coast of Florida, you're gonna take a beating from this system, just like how Ian approached, crossing over. You're gonna get storm surge nonstop on the east coast of Florida for 48 hours as the storm approaches. Probably starting late Monday night all the way into Thursday. You're going to have significant storm surge and beach erosion on that east coast of Florida. Even when the storm exits, you're going to get some strong winds on the east coast of Florida, because the system's still going to be intensifying as it crosses over and goes back into warm waters on the east side of Florida into the Atlantic. So there's still a chance the system can just tug more northeast and get pushed north, because you still have a system coming out in the Atlantic that's going to be turning north eventually. What if that steers this system when it exits Florida and wants to go north all of a sudden? We don't know. It's still very far out, all these possibility outcomes. So, but that's just the European model. Look at the GFS here, since it's being very aggressive. Look at the wave heights on the GFS. Those are some monster waves. If the system came in as strong as a Category 3, Category 4 storm, the wave heights would be approaching 20 to 35 foot waves there, pounding the west coast of Florida. You would have devastation on the west coast of Florida if we had a Category 3, Category 4 storm going into Tampa or the north side of Tampa. All those wave heights breaking and eventually reaching the coast of Florida, probably down between 15 to 20 foot waves once they finally break down, right? And to those outer islands, you would have so much sand, so much storm surge. There would be a lot of devastation because everything's still weak from Hurricane Helene. All the buildings are weak. They already got previous storm surge from down south. Even though you were like 200 miles away from the center, you still had significant storm surge previously from down there. This is going to be the icing on the cake when this system comes in. It's just going to hamper everything that already got weakened by the previous storm. So now's the time to definitely take action. Here's a couple of the hurricane forecast models actually. They're not going to let me show them yet because everything's updating right now. Yeah, everything's updating right now, so I won't let me show them. Let me Alright, so here's a hurricane forecast model graph on the 12Z since this morning, showing anywhere between Category 2 to Category 4 strength. Even the HMON showing here a Category 4 storm before landfall. Just the possible scenarios here. I mean, this system is going to be tracking all across the Gulf, and slower it goes, the more it has time to rapidly intensify. Um, so the slower the system, the stronger it is. It's going to be tugged more northeast. So just get ready when this NHC forecast switches to more of a Tampa to north side Tampa landfall versus further south. I'm pretty sure they're just starting it off further south to get more, once you get the recon planes in there, and it feeds the hurricane forecast models, and then all the forecasts become more aligned, they'll probably be breaking down on more of a specific landfall instead of a huge cone. But like I said, don't pay too much attention to these tracks or the intensity forecast runs right now because everything's going to change. What we really need to be concerned about is that storm surge. And wherever that storm comes in, the whole south side of the system is going to bring significant storm surge and wave heights, pushing water inland. And let's say if the system did track like this, it would be pulling all this water out of the Tampa Bay area where it's all muddy, and when the system comes back, it's going to be pushing all that water back in. So it's not looking good for the west coast of Florida, so please be prepared, get ready, and we'll be down there live streaming the entire event. Make sure to share, follow, and like. Thank you guys.